Okay, gents, we're back. Did a couple things. Knowing that I was going to be working with one hand, went ahead and took the linkage, the TV lever, and actually the shift lever off of this truck. I got a spare one here to do one of my little tricks. I'm going to try and show you guys to deal with this park rod. As I see, that's another problem that pops up often. So, first step to getting this thing out would be, we'll just go ahead and put this in first gear. And what that does is now we can see our little clip that we're after. We can take that clip out right now, but another thing that I'm going to show you that kind of makes it more accessible and easier to deal with, like when you go to try to put it back in, is we take one of these longer bolts out of the governor pressure solenoid and sensor block. Right, a fair bit longer here, and we actually put it in place of one of our, this is one of the short bolts in the front, in the middle up here, is what I normally do. We'll drop the short bolt out, which is literally about half the length. Alright, put that in place. Started with a few threads. It doesn't need to be, obviously it's not going to get tight, so it's just enough to hold the bolt in place. Alright, we'll go ahead and take a couple of these out, the rest of these out I should say. Come on. One-handed work is not my forte, so you have to forgive me, gents. I already had these loose to drain the transmission, so I wasn't getting dripped on while doing this video. So I kind of cheated a little bit here. If you do end up getting to this point, and while we're taking the valve body out, when you go back in with these, we are talking about inch pounds on these. You can go with 9 foot-pounds. I actually only do 110 inch pounds, which is a little more. But 9 foot-pounds is pretty close, and not going to over-torque either, nor under-torque. They're not that finicky. We got to reach up. I just skipped a step there. So there's the 8-pin plug up here. I actually have to push down on that connector to get the valve body to unseat. You can just drop it on. Oh, look, more second gear parts. Anyways, now we can see that that clip is at a level we can actually get to it from the side, which is handy for going back in with it with a pair of needle nose. Just come at it from the side. Another thing that I like to do for the novice and amateur transmission guys, you know, 1-inch chrome socket, you can take your neutral safety switch out, because otherwise what you have to do is, let's see if I can get the angle out here, it's up there. You actually have to push that in when you go back up with the valve body. I know I'm kind of skipping around here, but when you go back in, if you don't push that in, you can actually break this little plastic deal here out, and that causes you a little bit of downtime, obviously, because you got to wait on it. You know, so that's the trick that I use, getting that clip in and out. See, we'll try and get it out quick, so I can kind of reverse the order. Working one-handed, so you have to forgive me, guys. I'm a little inept at the moment. Come on. So I like to use a pair of needle nose for getting this both in and out, because then you can make sure you don't lose it. You can actually grab it and take it out. And then same thing going back in. Probably should have, see if I could get a little bit down here. So, sorry for the camera work, I do apologize. So you just grab it like so. Come in from the side. Oop. Looks like the rod slipped a little, so that's another thing. Actually, we'll pop that out so I can show you the trick. As you've got, so the rod is out. You gotta get that guy lined back up. You've got ample room with this bolt letting everything hang. It's strong enough, it won't warp or anything like that, as long as you don't go trying to do pull-ups from your valve body. You gotta kind of wiggle things around a little. I like to come in from the front and get it lined come back up and back through like it's supposed to be. It's sticking out the bottom. You see that little, you hook your nail in the groove where the clip is supposed to go. And this clip in here. They come in from the side. I usually use a bent pair of needle nose, but you can do it with this one. I got more of a two-handed thing, so I may have to find a helper here. I do like to stabilize it, so maybe I'll get an actual video of that after I get a helper, so I can use both hands, because it is nice. You can use your finger up in here to help guide it in, make sure it doesn't fall off. But yeah, that's how I get them back in. Saves a lot of time. It's also how I get them out, so you don't have to worry about, you know, disturbing it back there in the overdrive housing. You don't have to worry about getting things lined back up in park. Just leave the rod in the transmission. So that's a helpful tip there. We'll see what else we find after we get this dropped down.